Chris and Sandy, Benton with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I say on every episode, we've got a great one for you. Who do we have?
We have Justin Love on the show today. He's a singer-songwriter, born and raised in Waco, Texas. Look for his song, I Wanna, also co-written with Troy Castellano, to be featured in TNT's original Claws series finale, which will air later this year.
And we're excited to talk to him about that and so much more. So, Justin, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Chris and Sandy. It's great to be here. You know, it's amazing that it's Chris and Sandy because I just think CS. I can remember that. C.S. Lewis. Chris and Sandy.
That makes it easy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, so our thing is almost CSS, right?
There you go. Yes. Nice. No, thank y'all for having me. It's great to be here.
It's definitely our pleasure.
Yes.
So as you know, this past 18 months has been tough on a lot of people, especially entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And I always want to talk about that first to get different perspectives. So how has COVID affected what you do? And what have you done this past 18 months and maneuvered through it?
Well, so believe it or not, you know, during COVID and that whole quarantine pandemic chaos, I've had a day job for a while in water testing for the environment. So I was able to keep my job, you know. I had a lot of my friends that had to leave. Music, obviously, I will never forget it. Me and my friend Fallon Schultz were playing a writers round in Midtown or in Middle Tennessee, a place called 404 Bar and Grill. And there was only like 2 people there. And there were like maybe 40 people watching online on Facebook. All of a sudden, they got the call that they had to shut down. It was in the middle of our set, and we were like, "Oh my gosh!" So you know, it was a surreal moment because I'm not a boxed-in soul. I'm an outgoing son of a gun. I'm an extrovert on top of extrovert, and so being stuck in my room, having to look at a screen, talking to people via the digital. It was something I just had to make myself appreciate.
Yeah.
But man, did I miss the interaction? You know, I'm all about that energy feeding off of each other.
Yeah.
Moment in the presence of them.
Yeah. Because you can get some energy through like what we do, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. We get it.
I do. Yeah. I get an energy that y'all think I'm real, which is nice. So once we cut the camera off, I'll make sure I take my facade off. No, I'm kidding.
You know, that's like, you know, we launched this show January of 2020. So a couple months before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And our original plan was maybe 100 interviews first year to build the foundation. We thought that'd be a great goal. And then COVID happens and I'm watching things get shut down. And I told Sandy, well, you know, we can't change COVID, but we sure can step it up because it looks like this could be our silver lining. All the people that didn't have time may now have time for our show. And because of that, we did over 300 interviews last year and we're over 450 now.
It's amazing what you do when you just take that little leap of faith. Pretty awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations. That's quite
because the faith of stepping out on the show. We never done radio, never done anything. It was a God thing. We just felt like, you know what, we're supposed to do this. Let's just do it. We launched. And then here we are 450 interviews later. And we're sitting here like, wow, what happened?
Right. Yeah. One thing I do appreciate always is the fact that, you know, no matter how crazy and chaos it is, you know, around us, there's peace that passes all understanding that surrounds us, you know, and you only get that whenever you trust the man upstairs is in control.
Oh, yes.
And he'll take care of you. But, you know, the thing that you did is you stepped. You have to take a step to get somewhere in life or else you won't ever know.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, you know, when you look at all the miracles in the Bible, every miracle was preceded by some form of obedience. You move and God blesses.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You don't get nowhere in life with your feet to the floor in fear, you know.
Right.
And I moved out here over 8 years ago on $650 a truck and a trailer. Not knowing anybody in town in face. This is the most amazing thing, you know. You know, I had talked to someone over a phone call a couple of times, and he was willing to let me come live with him and his family. To this day, it's still where I live because now they've made me their family.
And, that's amazing.
Yes. And it was a God thing, you know. I'm all about that stuff. Dadgum. Y'all, pardon Pardon me. I say dadgum a lot when I get excited.
Oh, no problem. Country thing.
Yeah, I mean, we have all different personalities, all
Mhm.
different types of guests on our show. You know, it almost doesn't really matter what comes out of people's mouth sometimes, because we're like, we have it all. Our show is America.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
That's how we want to feel anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people would ask, when did you know you wanted to do music? But I like to go deeper than that. When did it click that this could be a career for you?
Okay, so, well, when it clicked, it could be a career for me was whenever I decided I want to go to college for it.
Mhm.
Okay.
But it had been my passion since I was 13. I first heard a song by Chris Tomlin called Holy is the Lord. And mind you, the way I was raised, the environment that I was raised in, my parents were youth pastors, and I could only listen to Christian-driven music for the longest time.
Yeah.
So finally one day, my dad decided he was going to, come home and tell us only God can convict you of what you say, do, choose to listen to, and who you hang with. Just make sure you heed his voice and feel the need. So whenever he gave me the go, I went into Stevie Ray Vaughan, Black Sabbath, Def Leppard, and Halen, all the classic rock that I could get because I loved the drive.
Yeah.
But whenever I got into college, it was really when it started hitting me because, I had already a pretty good bit of I would say perfect pitch, a blessing and a curse. More blessing than a curse because, you go to some places and you obviously yourself, that doesn't mean everything you hit is going to be perfect, but no, when it's off, it's like, oh, I need to do that again,
You can tell.
And so whenever I was in college, I was asking my professors when I was getting ready to grad.
Yeah, you went mute.
Oh, is y'all still there?
There it is.
We're here. Okay. We hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Do you see me on the screen? Because y'all
we do.
Y'all went bye-bye, so hopefully y'all are still there. Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
Anyway,
we're here.
Okay. Regardless, what happened is my professors was asking me, so what you going to do with the rest of your life? I was like, man, I said, I would like to go and, do a 4-year program, because I only did a 2-year program, community college for commercial music performance, which taught me how to commercially think, viable thoughts, melodies, ideas, and just expanded what I had already started to learn whenever I was a kid. And so my professor was like, you don't need to do that. And I said, well, he said, you need to move to Nashville and network your butt off because you ain't scared. Heck yeah, I ain't. So I just released a Christian rock album at the time. My Christian niche was Justin Love with Jesus.
Love that. Very cool.
And so I moved up here afterward, and I haven't had to look back. God's prepared the way because I continue to move.
And something I think is a misconception out there with people. A lot of times, one of the hardest things that with people is when they go full-fledged Christian music. It's close to impossible to come out of that because once you do country, then the Christian community wants to shun you. I've seen that happen over and over. But I've told people, if you're going to do Christian music and you can lean country, go country and just add Christian music to it.
Absolutely. I agree. I had first moved here and was doing Christian music, and I never had a more amazing, eye-opening experience. I had a phone call from Billy Smiley, who was with the group Whiteheart, Christian classic rock group. And he simply just told me, he says, I just want to give you some words of wisdom. He said, don't be so quick to sign anything with the word Christian on it. He said, the same token, don't be so quick to sign anything with a major label or even just a generic, genre on it. And I was like, why? He said, because people will take you if you let them. And I was like, okay. So I had drilled it in my brain. I don't read the Bible because I don't pick up anything via textbook. I'm a hands-on learner, or my ears have to hear it. So I have an amazing audio Bible called Bible.is, and I would put Proverbs on repeat at night, so letting my spirit man soak up all the stuff like a sponge while I was sleeping. And I never thought that I would use that in moments whenever I would almost get stuck into you could do this record deal, we could get you this. I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's like, there's a check in my heart. Not everything that comes at you as a door of opportunity to walk through. And so, so needless to say, I thanked that conversation. I thanked Billy for that conversation, and I wrote my first country song. Now, mind you, it took getting involved with a sugar baby to come out, but needless to say, I didn't know what a sugar baby was, so it didn't care. It didn't matter to me.
Love that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory of like a Blake Shelton, of a Miranda, of a Carey, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles it takes, not just to get to their level, but even a career level within music. And I always want to talk about this because I think it's kind of glossed over in the industry where people feel like, oh, I got the talent, I can make it. We both know that's almost not true. That it takes a lot more than talent. It takes a lot of work ethic. It takes some luck in there too, and throw God in there too.
Oh,
So
yes.
knowing that, let's talk about that side of it a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm a firm believer that, hard work does pay off, and now I have some friends of mine that just so happen to get the opportunity because they were in the right place, the right time.
Yeah.
But then you back up the history,
The work ethic
they have
was
a
there.
family member that just happened to live next door to the person that owns the label back home. And it's like, Lord Jesus, it's a fire and it's not even around me, but that's okay. Things happen how they're supposed to, when they're supposed to, and
Exactly.
everybody's paths are different, and so for me, I'm not going to stop. I tell people all the time, I'm too stubborn to stop and way too far from stupid to shut up. And so I surround myself with those people and I learn from them. And I get to hear their story and how they got their end, right? And, for me, I get all kinds of excited just getting to be in the presence of them, hearing their story. Because then 90% of the time what they do is they don't say, well, what's your story? They say, oh, we get it right in the books. It's amazing sometimes, how you just simply put, and these are published, big time people in the industry.
Yeah.
How you just simply listen. You don't say a word. Sometimes you speak the most volume when you simply be quiet.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what doors of opportunity open when you simply have your mouth shut.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And a lot of people don't realize too, like, when you do have things that look like an overnight success, they put in year after year after year of work.
Oh, yes.
And if you'd have cut that side out, the luck part would not have happened. The connection would not have happened. So it's like I remember a quote that said, "The harder I work, the luckier I get."
See, I agree with that, but then I changed that word luck to blessed.
Yeah,
The harder
there
I
we go.
work,
I love that one. I'll
blessed
keep
I
using that
become.
one.
Yes.
The harder I work, the more
because-
blessed I get.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
The more blessed I become because, the steps of a righteous man are ordered. But mind you, again, we go back to steps.
Yep.
You've got to take them in order for God to say, okay, bam, 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 bam. And you're not always going to get it right. Dadgum.
Yeah.
If anybody, I go get coffee with people all the time because I love listening. My favorite part of a conversation, I can talk, obviously, but I love listening and I love hearing people's story, what makes them tick, how they got where they are. Christian or not, man, dadgum, everybody's got a great
Oh,
story.
yeah.
And then I tell people mine and they just jaw drop. You got involved with a sugar baby? Oh my gosh, let me tell you. This goody two-shoes of a person used to be a heathen and a half. Then I met Jesus. Now I'm only half of a heathen. I still ain't got it right completely, but I'm half of a heathen.
I love that. So now that we talked a little bit about the sacrifice and struggle side, let's flip the script and go the other way. What are a few moments in your career so far that you're like, wow, that happened, or wow, I got to do that? Some wow moments.
A very first wow moment would be whenever I asked God, I said, Lord, because I wasn't really seeing any reaping of what I had sown into the countryside of things.
Yeah.
And I had a friend of mine named Gabby who did some writers rounds and booked and stuff downtown. And we had kind of come in contact a few times, not even really like hung out with each other, right? But the one thing that I love doing is supporting. Sometimes I find myself supporting more than I do performing. And it's exciting. But she literally pulled me over to the side after I just asked God that question. It was like not even 5 to 10 seconds go by. She goes, Justin, I want to introduce you to someone. And I was like, okay. And it wasn't even like a well-known music person. It was just a friend of hers that got off a plane that was visiting that weekend. And she said, if anybody is a definition of a selfless, humble, talented, amazing human being, it's this guy right here. And what he does is amazing.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, thank you, God, for that clarification, because there's a lot of amazing artists in this town.
Yeah.
And the best way you can stick out, I tell people, I say, if you want to impress somebody, go be somebody else. But if you want to impact somebody, be yourself.
Exactly.
And
yes.
because impressions are temporary, impacts are eternal. So when I take the stage or anywhere, anything, a coffee conversation, I'm not doing my best to impress you. I want to leave my mark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What can I do to leave love in your brains?
Exactly. That's how we feel. And and you were talking about, speaking of that God moment, I think one of my God moments for our show was a couple months in. I think COVID just happened not too long before this.
Yeah.
And I was frustrated, wanting the show to go to the next level, wanting to get a little bit bigger guest on too. We love the rising artists, and we also love the big artists. We love both. So we want to be a combo of both.
We do.
And I remember asking God, are we even supposed to do this? I mean, is this supposed to be what we do for our life right now? And I remember I'm frustrated. I'm almost ready to quit. And it was like an hour later, I get an email from a PR company and who said that we'd like to get 6 of our artists on your show. And I'm scrolling through the get artists, and one of them was Anna Christina Cash. And I'm like, no, I was like, I wonder if she's related to the Cash family. So I look her up. Oh, she's married to John Carter Cash. I was like, yeah, we will take all 6. And I was like, can we do Anna first? Because I wasn't stupid. What if they didn't like the way we do our show? We got Anna. And that was kind of a game changer for our show, because we got Anna on the show. And then Carlene Carter came. Then Jenny Gill came. Then Taylor Lynn came. Georgette Jones came. So all of a sudden we started getting the Legends kids on the show.
Yeah.
And that kind of proved that we're real.
Yeah.
And that came because of that thing where I was questioning, are we even supposed to do the show?
Right. See, you went ahead and just said, I'm all about, that moment in the Bible when Jesus was sweating drops of blood, right? That stress, that's so much anguish, but yet he still said, not my will be, your will be done. I want to have that same mindset, even if God told me tomorrow, hey, I want you to put the guitar down and don't ever touch it again.
Exactly.
I want to be willing to sacrifice that guitar, knowing that he's got something better for me. Now, will it be hell? Heck yeah, it will be that gum. I've been married to this son of a gun and done some amazing things with it. But if I can give that up, I can give up anything, and that means everything for me. And I will say one of my aha or wow moments also would be whenever I got asked to play the Bluebird, all because of my character.
Wow.
Ah, wow.
So I had the person, his name is Billy Lee. He came to me and said, man, you've got such a great character. You ever played the Bluebird? And I was like, no, sir, I haven't. He goes, all right, great job, kid.
Wow.
Messaged me a couple weeks later on Facebook. And this was last year in January that I got to play the Bluebird Cafe for the first time.
And now's your chance to play the Chris and Sandy show.
Ah, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So, tell everybody about the first song you're going to play, and then the floor is yours.
The first song I'm going to play is not actually even released. I actually wanted to change things up a little bit, and I play a lot of writers' rounds and stuff like that. But this song has been well received recently, just because I was writing it with 2 people on Bree Carter and Joey D, both great writers in town, good friends of mine. And they had, we got in a room and they said, okay, today we're writing for the artist. And apparently I was the artist. And I was like, oh, snap, y'all are in trouble. So needless to say, I threw out this idea. I was like, well, I got this idea called Seeing Things, and they fell in love with it. Now, Bree Carter, she is hilarious, because anything I spit melodically out of my mouth, she jaw drops like she's about to just jump me. Right. But she's a great artist as well. Awesome hard worker. But anyway, so I wrote this song, and every time we talk, when you gonna cut our song? Man, you know everybody loves that song. So I'll play that one for you. This is called Seeing Things. Girl, when I met you, I knew there was something there. I looked deep into those big brown eyes, the answer to my every prayer. Some people search a lifetime for what I see right here, and it's more than just your beauty, babe. Let me make it clear, I'm seeing you and me on a back porch chilling out. I see us down at the beach. You know what I'm talking about. Late night kissing, holding you, thinking maybe we're meant to be. Not sure what you're seeing yet, but I'm seeing things. You're so sexy, the way you swing those hips. And you know it don't take much for me to want to taste those lips. It's more than just your body, babe, more than the simple touch. You might think I'm crazy, but baby, I'm just in love. I'm seeing you and me on a back porch chilling out. I see us down at the beach. You know what I'm talking about. Late night kissing, holding you, thinking maybe we're meant to be. Yeah. Not sure what you're seeing yet, but I'm seeing things. Ooh, I'm seeing things. Oh, 'cause I'm seeing you and me on a back porch chilling out. I see us down at the beach. You know what I'm talking about. Late night kissing, holding you, thinking maybe we're meant to be. Yeah. Not sure what you're seeing yet. No, girl, I'm not sure what you're seeing yet, but I'm seeing things. I'm seeing things. I'm seeing things.
Oh, great job. Love it.
Love
Great
it.
song. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You like that little line about my own self being in the song?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
So
it.
that was my buddy Joey D. We got stuck on the second verse, and we were just like, might be crazy, but I think Joey D said, "Well, we're writing for the artist, right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What about Baby I'm Justin Love?" And I just went, oh, it was a God. It was like God
mic drop.
second. Yeah, literally. The whole rest of the retreat, I told people, I said, y'all ain't going to touch what we
It was
written.
like,
Yep.
Don't get much better than writing for the artist than that. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, as you know, a lot of people, they see the artist, but they don't see the teams behind them. In our opinion, the teams never get the love they deserve. On our show, they do. So take a few moments. Tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Oh, absolutely. First, the man upstairs, because I know he cares.
Amen.
My dad is one of my family, obviously, and all together, but my dad is one of my heroes, obviously. Wow. And he has never stopped believing in me, never pushed me to do music, never made me feel like I had to, It was always a willingness, and, he was always willing to teach whatever he could. And then next thing you know, I'm teaching him. So it was just
Love that.
My producer, Jason Wyatt, who has also been like a mentor to me, a guy named Keith Moore, who's with Global Rising Song. He was the one that kind of introduced me to Jason. A bunch of my amazing friends that are in town, Chris Sly, Troy Castellano, John Cirillo, all my friends that are just not just friends of mine, and not just fans, but believe that, not in just my talent, but how I want something said. And sometimes, I put in a video once when I was opening for Kathy Lee during quarantine, we opened up for her at the 19 Miles to Music Row show, and I was playing I Wanna. And I said, sometimes I thank God for people that make me sound smarter than I really am. I said, because those are the ones I write with. And I said, and one of those people is Troy Castellano. So, because I'll say something and he says, well, why don't we say it this way? Because it sounds better. I said, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. So, so that would be, just my fans, I mean, if anything, I'm thankful for just any and everybody that I've touched. I don't know everybody's names off the top of my head, but that would be my team and just the people that continue to believe in me and show up even to writers' rounds and tell me, the people that ask me, what is your story? Those are the ones I will say, oh my gosh, I heart you. I don't like to use the love word a lot because
that's why we launched this show, is to tell people stories.
Yes, we love hearing the stories.
Yes. So, I mean, those are the moments that I get the moment that I'm like, I made an impact. Now it's time to like push it all more. Let's go get coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you.
So tell us about the TV show Claws and how did that happen?
Yes.
Oh man, again, another God thing, if I'm going to be honest with you. Dadgum. So I got hired to simply put some guitar to this guy's melody. He sent me a work tape.
Oh, wow.
And mind you, his work tape was ridiculous. It was just his voice. And he switched. He switched in between keys on his melody. And I went, wait, what was that? And so it was very confusing at first. So I said, can we just get on a Zoom call and hash this out? So he was in California, and he just happened to be, at that time I didn't know, an editor, a film editor's assistant for the show.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And he hadn't heard much of my music yet. We hadn't even met face-to-face, dadgum. He came to Nashville. We hung out. We met. We were supposed to work on it in person. We didn't. He wanted to go play and party. And he was writing a song about Luke Bryan's bar, not even knowing who Luke Bryan was. So that was hilarious. But it's a great song. So I finally put some guitar to it over a Zoom, and I said, what do you think of this? He goes, oh, my gosh, this is amazing. He went and cut it at my buddy Troy Castellano's place in Columbia, and he had already pre-ordered my single. And then whenever it came out, he was blowing me up. He goes, oh, my gosh, this is the most amazing song. He called me singing it. I want And what was amazing about it is he got it overseas with Natalie out with, I think it's Radio Talk City. I don't know, whatever. Radio City or something like that, I think is what it is. Mm-hmm. But it was really cool because got on some radio stations over there and getting some real good recognition. And then people calling me from overseas, emailing me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Where did this come from? And I was like, Jesus, no. But my producer and all them that made the song what it was is why people fell in love with it. We took and elevated that melody that I already had and just, it was amazing. So Scott told me, he says, I would love to get this in my TV show. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. I hadn't even heard of the show yet. It wasn't one of my go-to watches. I've caught up all the way now. Of course.
Yeah.
And so we were told, I think they just announced it 2 days ago, December 26th. So right after Christmas, we're going to be rolling out the 4th season. So
that's the day December 26th. I'll be 14 years sober.
Yeah, your sober-versary. Right?
Yeah, sober-versary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's amazing. Hey, you know what? There's only 2 things I need to live with in this life: Jesus and Java.
Amen.
Yes.
Now, speaking of teens, we have a third co-host. Our little 9-year-old asked 3 questions. So Sandy's gonna go get him and
come on, bring her on. She is the next contestant on Ask Me Something.
And we've got a little daughter that's 2.5 years old. That when she gets older, we'll be plugging her in the show too. So it'll be really cool. It'll be a family affair show.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, but man, I'm all about this.
Yeah, because again, even though our guests may not be always family oriented, our show will always be family oriented. So
I love that, man. That's really awesome. I'm all about family. It definitely is a toll on me whenever I think of times like this. Like, I didn't see my family almost for like a year and a half. And it was like, heck, because I love what I do, but I also, it's definitely a toll on my heart when I don't get to see my family. Exactly. So I talk to my grandma and my dad and just about anybody I can almost every day. So what's up, man? What's your name?
My name's Christopher. Hi, Justin. So what's your favorite foods?
Oh, favorite foods, hands down, man.
He has the best questions.
Beautiful. I love it. Favorite food would have to be Chewy's chips and queso. hands down.
What's yours?
Mine is pizza.
Oh yeah, any specific flavor?
What kind?
Pepperoni, sausage.
Pepperoni, sausage, and supreme.
Oh, okay. So all three, all the above. Nice, man.
Yeah, he loves pizza.
Love it.
So, what's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show. Favorite TV show would have to be, if I'm being honest, The Office.
All right.
Hands down. Love Steve Carell. What about yours?
Mine is SpongeBob.
Oh man, love. I used to watch. I watched a ton of SpongeBob for a long time. So,
And what's been cool is he watches a lot of your Nickelodeon Disney shows. So we've been because we bring on artists and actors on the show. We've been able to bring a lot of people from his shows to come on the show for him to talk to.
look at you, man. Way to go, buddy. Who's your favorite character in SpongeBob?
Favorite character SpongeBob, Patrick.
Oh my gosh, I love Patrick.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Yes. So, what's your favorite movie?
Ooh, favorite movie would probably, as much as people are going to be shocked, because I'm a very sensitive son of a gun. Favorite movie would probably have to be a toss-up between Get Smart with Steve Carell or A Walk to Remember with Mandy Moore. So, what about you, man? What's your favorite movie?
Mine is the Minions movie.
Oh, the Minions movie?
Yes.
That is a pretty good movie. I mean, I think it's quite amazing. I'm fascinated with anything that's like graphic animation like that. Really awesome stuff.
Yeah, he loves them too.
Oh, yes.
Love it.
Yes, bye. Thanks.
Nice to meet you, buddy. Have a great one.
Yeah, he loves to be on the show, and we love to have him on because, again, we are a family affair show. So.
Oh, I love it. No, absolutely. That was just as exciting as you asking me about the hard times.
Okay, so what are some sources of inspiration for you?
Sources of inspiration. Well, I like to tell people that a lot of my life revolves around hassles and heartbreaks. A lot of people come to me. A lot of people come to me for advice. And sometimes I give it, but 90% of the time, all I do is just simply listen to their conversation.
And you're probably like, be careful what you say because it may end up in a song.
Well, no, definitely. So if I've got to give you a song that actually happened on, my friend, well, I'll get to that in a minute. So the hassles and heartbreaks, whether the way I think of it is it's a rotating wheel for me, intertwined, whether it's the hassles of others and the heartbreaks of my own, or the heartbreaks of others and the hassles of my own. I deal with it on the daily in some form or fashion. Somebody, it never ceases to fail, needs some type of pick me up. And I love that they do that. Like they come to me for it, and that is some of my biggest inspiration right there is knowing that, I can use sadness to a certain degree to bring a positive vibe,
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Someone told me a long time ago that there's nothing wrong with sad songs. And at first I was like, bullcorn.
That's like
They're relatable.
That's like one of our favorite songs is that what song is that one? It's really cool.
That sort of turns it around, that bad day
song.
Yeah,
the bad day song.
You had a bad day.
Because it's like it's a sad song, but yet at the same time they put upbeat music.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. True. And I think there's a positivity to take from anything that could be considered negative, right?
Yeah.
The Bible says God takes the foolish things to confound the wise. And sometimes I believe that sadness can be turned to happiness with simply just the beat, the melody. And so I love being able to take melancholy and sad driven thoughts and putting my melody to it. And sometimes even people tell me, it's like, your melody was so deep, but I don't know why I just got so happy. And it's like, well, I don't know either, but praise God, it worked.
And speaking of songs, let's hear your second song.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my second song. Well, let me ask you a question. What would you like to hear? Would you like to hear one that's already released, or would you like to hear one that is not released? You tell me. I love doing things like this. I'll put you on the spot.
How about the song that you were just mentioning a while ago that you said that you had a story with?
Oh, how's your heart lately? Okay.
Oh, yes. Love to hear it.
All right. Well, can I tell you the story first? So,
Yeah,
Sure,
sure.
please
Story.
do.
Story time. The girl that inspired this song, her name is Chelsea. She's a great artist in town.
Yeah.
Great friend of mine. And she had just gone through a really rough breakup, right? And
Yeah.
I obviously do what I do best. Oh, well, you want to talk about it? If not, it's okay. Just know I'm here if you ever need somebody. And
Yeah.
so we got together over a phone conversation. And, she was just telling me about, it was just so awful and whatnot. Well, a couple of days went by and I decided to check on her, but not in the most usual, typical way. It was more unusual. So instead of asking her how she was feeling, if she was okay, I asked her, how's your heart lately? And she came back without missing a beat, which is why I wrote this song. She goes,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
seems to be in pieces, but at least it's still beating. And I went,
Ooh.
That's a song.
Yeah.
heck yeah. So I wrote this with my friend Erica Latza, and yeah, we're pretty proud of it. If I ask you how's your heart, would you say it's barely beating? Have you put it back together? Or is it still in pieces? Is it sleeping in a bed pressed up to someone else's chest? Hanging on to hope or letting go of things you still regrets? Did you give another piece away to fill an empty space? Is it gonna be gone forever, or will it someday be replaced? Is it stuck wanting more than being just somebody else's baby? I gotta know, how's your heart lately? Has it ever been in love? So many times it's jaded. Is it filled with overwhelming joy and you just can't contain it? Or is it an open book for all to read? Do you wear it on your sleeve? Did you put the lock back on it and throw away the key? Did you give another piece away to fill an empty space? Is it gonna be gone forever, or can it be replaced? Is it stuck wanting more than just being someone else's baby? I gotta know, how's your heart lately? Did you give another piece away to fill an empty space? Is it gone forever, or will it be replaced? Is it stuck wanting more than just being someone else's baby? I gotta know, oh girl, please let me know, how's your heart lately? Ooh.
Love it.
Wow.
That's a powerful song.
It is. We got
Thank you,
chills
man.
there.
Yeah. Holy Ghost jiggle bumps when we were writing that.
What would you like for your legacy to be as an artist? What would you like to be known and remembered for?
Making the most of my impact. I don't want to impress people because impressions don't last. Impacts do. And, knowing that even if it's through a conversation like this right here, or with my guitar or without it, that I did my dadgum best to live my life knowing that, the man upstairs gave me a talent and a gift. I want to share it. I don't want to abuse it, but I also don't want to do it for my glory. I want to do it for him. And I want to leave my mark knowing that, it's not about me. It's all about him. And I'm thankful to be here still doing what I do, even though I have a day job, and it fuels what I love doing and getting to put out songs, so yeah, I want to leave the most of my impact. I want to spread love to the north, south, east, and west. LOVE. Everybody get a piece of me.
There you go. Yes. And if you could say anything to your fans and followers, what would you want to tell them?
I love the heck out of them. Fans and followers, man. I think I was telling Chris earlier, there's something on your website that I agreed with completely. Don't let go of your vision until you know it's over, because it will eat you inside. So I will steal that from you guys, even though the Bible says thou shalt not steal. I will take for a moment. And,
you'll borrow.
I will borrow.
Yes.
I can't give it back. It's words. But that would be what I'd want to say to my fans. Thank you so much for all the support, and know that you choosing to listen and be present, whether it's online or in person, and just being there is just as exciting for me. You may not enjoy every song that comes out, but whenever you do, I appreciate it. And you ever have feedback, I'm all ears. I love y'all.
Love that.
Love it.
So if you could co-write with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
I got mine, dadgum. I'd love to collaborate with Keith Urban, number one.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, yeah.
Number two, I'd love to collaborate with Chris Daughtry. And number three, I'd love to collaborate with Blake Shelton.
Oh, yes.
Blake Shelton's one of my dream. I've got a few dream guests.
Dream guests.
Blake Shelton's one of them. Because we've had a lot of friends come on the show that's been on Team Blake, and I always ask them, is Blake the same as what you see on camera? And every single person has told me he is. He says when the camera's not rolling, he doesn't change.
I love that. I love that so much that's what I want to do, and so, I think that's the best way that you can impact someone, whether the camera's on or off, you're still the same. Whether you're on the stage or off, you're still the same, and whether you're a billionaire or you're a hundredaire, you're still the same.
And that's like with our show, we've made a pact together that, it doesn't matter if an artist is just rising or an artist is a Blake Shelton. We're going to treat them the exact same when they're on our show. We're going to ask because I had somebody tell me, are we going to change the questions? And there might be some change because, of course, there are different levels. But for the most part, we're going to treat both sides the same, because the goal is not to get it's not how they live, it's to get their life story.
It's their story.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I love that, because I love it when people ask me, says, you gotten a Grammy yet? I said, I've had a Grammy for 60 plus years. And I got one that talks to me more than collects dust on the shelf. But yeah.
Love that. So what's a song you've heard? There's probably 1,000 answers to this one, but just think of the first thing that kind of pops in your head. But what's a song you've heard that you wish you wrote?
If I'm being honest, Dagum, there's two of them. There's When God Whispered Your Name by Keith Urban, but honestly, one of my favorite songs, because of the simplicity of the idea and how small the subject is, Honeybee by Blake Shelton.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. That's a great good one. Yes.
You go listen to that song. You think of all that, and it's I'll Be Your Honeybee. Oh, about that daggone little thing. Man, dynamite comes in small packages, and honeybees hurt. But I guess in that sense, it felt good. So I wished I would have wrote that song. I can jam that song just about any daggone time.
That's a great one.
Love that.
What about you guys? If you could have wrote any song, if you could have, had the opportunity to have that, what would you say yours would be, daggum? Let's turn the table, daggum.
There's so many heavy songs out there. Yes. I mean, it's funny. I haven't even really thought of it, because we write. We just,
we do.
We write lyrics.
Write. Yes, we write lyrics.
In fact,
doing that since 12 or 13.
I have a set of lyrics that I think would be perfect for you. If you don't mind us emailing it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, man. I had a Q&A with Michael Knox one time, Jason Aldean's producer.
Mm.
And the thing that I will say, in the end of all this, the bottom line is
Yeah.
I'm an artist. So my name doesn't have to be on every song. And I got that mindset because of Jason Aldean's producer. He said
wow.
Jason Aldean got sent like 6,000 songs for a few of his records back. And he was also on the bus on tour writing for his stuff. And they narrowed down the 6,000 to I think like 39. And then he gave them to Jason and said, okay, pick some of these and then also whatever you're writing, put it on there. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Says pick 14. He didn't pick any of the songs he was writing. And so Michael walked up to him and said, why didn't you pick at least one of your songs? He goes, someone said it better. He goes, I get to take it my own by singing it, so why not give them the credit? And I was like, oh, hands to the down. Hallelujah. Man, I loved that. So that's been my mindset ever since. I'm an artist. And if I believe in the song that somebody sends me, and, I feel it, then why not do it, daggum?
And, win-win. This gave me time to think, but one of the songs I would have loved to have written would be Miranda Lambert's Automatic, because it brings you back.
Oh, that is a great one.
That's a great
again, we'll never can go back to those times, but that's one of them songs you're like, wow, it was just such simpler times than we live in today.
Yes, I've got my answer now to Don Henley, End of the Innocence. That's one of my all-time favorite songs. It's so powerful. Yes. I love that one. So
my gosh. Don Henley, hands down. I agree, man. Every so often, like I was at a writer's round the other night, and I heard someone pop off a Peter Gabriel tune, and I went,
oh wow.
Right at the end, and I was like, this is what I'm talking about, so I mean, it's I love that.
Now if we go Christian, I would love to have written You Say by Lauren Daigle.
I would love to have written Jesus by Chris Tomlin.
That'd be a good one.
Because believe it or not, whenever that song came out, I don't like to say the word love, so I was madly in like with this girl. And this same girl, not too long ago, like before that took place, she was holding my hand, and then she said, well, I like you, but I like somebody else more. I'm like, let go of my hand, you ain't Jesus, and so that song really got me through a lot of stuff. That one, or his song Sovereign. If you haven't heard it, that's just a beautiful worship song. And
it's funny, my one of the songs that when I'm down about, like, if they, like, I feel like I'm trying to get through another mountain type thing. It's like they keep coming. There's one song that is my go-to song for that, and that's Miley Cyrus's The Climb.
The Climb. Oh yes,
that's a good one.
I agree. And what's amazing, I will say, is I got in the writing room once with my buddy John Cirillo and Craig Lackey, and we were writing a song called Went Looking for Me that my cousin inspired the title. She goes, I found you when I went looking for me. And I said, oh, my good glorious God of heaven and earth, things under the earth, that everything shall confess Jesus Christ is Lord. So she gave me that, and we were trying to find this specific line that made sense but was different. And I spitball a lot when I'm in the room. I usually chew. I was telling someone else this recently. I chew on melodies and music. Those are my M&Ms I chew on usually in a room of lyricists, and these guys have been writing for a long time. And I simply just said, hey guys, they're like, we had a right before the hook, and it was, funny how when you stop climbing, you fall right where you're supposed to be. And I went, for the longest time, it didn't even click on how good it was. I listened to that song, and then one day it just hit, and I was like, even whenever you fall, it's where you were supposed to fall. Pretty amazing, crazy.
Love that.
Just get back up. I love that song.
So what's next for you?
Well, probably getting more coffee because I'm about empty. But I've got. Honestly, we were planning on putting out another single. Next week is my birthday, and I'm gonna be, oh my gosh, hitting another daggum year of more whiskers. But we were gonna.
I just hit 50.
Yes, he just.
Oh, well, congratulations! Happy birthday! We was planning on going into the studio and releasing another song, but this one's so energetic, and I mean, I won't play it without having a drummer or some sort of percussionist because it does not work. And so we're probably just going to hold off and maybe find the perfect holiday single to put out. So
Oh, yeah.
But then we've got stuff in the works for like, you know, an EP where it talks about an EP and like stuff that I've released so far. And, you know, if anything, it's going to be making sure that I keep up with this season 4 of Claws as well, because it may inspire their daggone song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we close out here, let's say you had a friend of yours and you heard him or her sing and they have something special and they feel called to this. What advice would you give that specific person to kind of help guide them the next few years?
Oh, man. Fun fact, I have that specific person.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, believe it or not, they inspired I Wanna. But what's amazing is I dubbed this person in Nashville as the queen of vulnerability. And the reason I say that is because every lyric that comes out of her mouth, you feel it.
Wow.
And so my encouragement to her has always been, it doesn't matter how many people are in the room. It matters about the ones that are there.
Yep.
You know, they showed up and they should be treated just as important as the ones that chose to not even show up and are over at like a Blake Shelton concert.
Yeah.
You give them 110% of your passion and you be real with them, you're going to win them for life. And you can't go wrong with that.
Love that. So as we close out, tell everybody how they can find you.
Yes.
They can find me right here. No, I'm just kidding. The best way people can find me is, the easiest and simplest. Just go to my website, justinlovemusic.com. It's all right there. Everything. You can follow me on all my social medias and check out the music and stay up to date with what's going on with Chris and Sandy.
Love that. Definitely love that. And you've been a hoot to chat with
this
today.
was fun.
We really enjoyed it. And we look forward to having you back down the road.
We do.
Thank you so much, guys. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and it's been a pleasure as well. Thank you, Sherry Cranford, for hooking me up with these people.
Yes, thanks to Sherry. We love her.
Have a great day.
Yes, have a good
Y'all have
one.
a good one. Thank you so much.